Ladies and gentlemen, the 25-26 season is almost upon us, less than a month before La Liga starts, and Hansi Flick ball will be on full effect week and week out yet again. Another year with Hansi Flick, his second year in La Liga, and with a lot of anticipation to see what Hansi Flick and this incredible team can accomplish going into next season. In this video, we're going to quickly go over what is the potential squad that Hansi Flick will go with going into next season. What will be his strongest squad? What will be the squad that he trusts throughout next season? Maybe some potential changes here and there, but that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm also going to give some of my opinions of what I would like to see throughout next season as well. Certain players getting into the squad, certain players maybe getting the bench. We'll talk about it all today, so lock in. Let's get to it. All right, so this is the empty squad that we have. We're going to fill it in from goalkeeper and up. And again, this is the squad that Hansi Flick will, start with at the beginning of the season. The trusting squad that he's going to start off with, considering what they did last season. And now, obviously, going into the same trust going into next season. But goalkeeper is obviously Marcan. That was a good one. Ter Stegen, your clip, bro, because now we have the likes of Juan Garcia. We signed them for a reason, right? We signed them for a reason because we signed them to be our new starting goalkeeper. Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, your time is over, especially now that you want to go get surgery. You want to be out for 3 months. Apparently, specifically, you said 3 months. You knew that we needed 4 months, but you said 3 months. You're done. You're finished. But yeah, Juan Garcia, young goalkeeper that we caught from Espanyol for, I think, 25 million, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, he's going to be someone that we're going to have to adapt to. Going to have to give him time. Like, we can't expect him to come in and be a Thibaut Courtois or Alisson right away for us. He's not going to be immediately world class because he's still a young goalkeeper. He still needs to adapt to Barcelona and obviously the level of playing for a team like Barcelona. Playing for Barcelona is not easy. So we could definitely say we're going to have to give him time. But, looking at his characteristics as a goalkeeper and what he accomplished last season with Espanyol, being one of the top, goalkeepers in La Liga, he has a lot of confidence. He's a great shot stopper. He's great on the ball, and that's what you need for a Barcelona player, especially. You need that confidence. You need that confidence as a goalkeeper. And Juan Garcia, he shows that for sure. So we'll see how he does throughout La Liga, how he does being the starting goalkeeper for Barcelona, which is going to be a lot more pressure for him. So let's see if he's able to handle it. But we could definitely agree that this is a better step going forward than having Marc-Andre Ter Stegen there. And Szczesny has the experience. That's all pretty much, because sometimes he has some bozo moments. Sometimes we don't have full trust on him. But Juan Garcia is clearly the starting goalkeeper going into next season. All right, going into the right back, I already put it in. I think it's pretty obvious. Jules Koundé. Who else but Jules Koundé, who also extended his contract until 2030. So another 4 more years of Jules Koundé ball at FC Barcelona. I was very happy to see that announcement happen and that Barcelona were able to get that done with Jules Koundé. But Jules Koundé, what else can we say about this guy? A warrior, a workhorse, a beast on the pitch, especially as a right back. Just him sacrificing his natural position, going from a center back to a right back because we had no one else. We tried Araujo there. He wasn't the best technically on the ball, playing as a right back. It just looked like he wasn't going ever to be a proper right back. His best position was always a center back. So who else to put there? Jules Koundé. And Jules Koundé, since joining Barcelona, has pretty much had to play as a right back, and he's adapted well every single year, improving, getting better, going forward, attacking, defending. We already know he's defensively sound, but again, defending as a right back is different from defending as a center back, because defending as a center back, you have a little bit more coverage with your midfielders and obviously your right back. But now going as a right back, you have to deal with more one-on-one situations, especially when you grow up against world-class wingers like Kylian Mbappé or Vinicius Jr., especially in La Liga. And Jules Koundé has been able to handle them. He's been able to handle a lot of wingers, a lot of top wingers especially. So Jules Koundé has done an incredible job, and also just facilitating Lamine Yamal. We already know he's a beast on the right wing, but he needs help. He needs support, and Jules Koundé has been a great support for Lamine Yamal all of last season. But yeah, Jules Koundé, he's impressed so much playing as a right back. He's improved massively going forward, especially in the final third. His deliverance is, he's getting much better for sure. So I'm very happy with Jules Koundé. Don't complain at all about Jules Koundé. I would love to see him later, maybe in the future, go back into his natural position, because I still think that Jules Koundé is a top center back. So maybe we'll see. But as of now, Jules Koundé, one of the best right backs in the world for a center back playing as a right back, which is, crazy to say. But yeah, Jules Koundé, he's a beauty. At the left back position, you already see him right there. Gerard get the hell out of my face. Alejandro Balde, one of the best left backs in the world, if not the best left back in the world. I'm going to say it right now. I'm backing my boy. Best left back in the world, Alejandro Balde. Who is Nuno Mensch? But yeah, Alejandro Balde, what else can we say about this guy? What a beast. What a beast he is as a left back. When you look at the left back options in the world right now, he's one of the top ones. So you can say definitely in the top 3. I don't see any other left back that is way better than, Alejandro Balde or clear Alejandro Balde. He was essential for us last season. He was practically playing, our left winger last season because Rafinha, he would play on the left side, but he would always invert, go through the middle, and Balde would always play high in wide positions as well. So he was basically our left back, our left winger all of last season because his one-on-one ability is amazing. If he, just kills you for pace, you're done. You're never catching up to him. And defensively, he's getting better. I think throughout these last couple of years, he's definitely gotten better. Maybe, obviously room for improvement. He's still a young player. Like we can't deny that he's going to improve even further, especially under Hansi Flick, who, Hansi Flick has a good way of teaching these guys how to defend well for sure. But Alejandro Balde, he's been essential for us all of last season. These last couple of years, he's been essential for us because, we haven't had to spend on a left back. We haven't had to, waste crazy amounts of money on the left back because Alejandro Balde just came from La Masia and boom, just killed it for us. I would say at the beginning of his career with Barcelona, I wasn't convinced with him, but these last couple of years, he's just improved. Like going back to Xavi's first season, I think he was amazing, in his second season with Xavi as well. But Alejandro Balde, he's been incredible for us. And again, the same situation with Jules Koundé. He's improved massively in the final third. He's gotten way better because that was definitely something I would criticize him so much on, that his, in the final third, his crossing, his final passes, he was ass. I'm not going to deny that. I don't think we can deny that he wasn't the greatest, but he's definitely improved. He's definitely getting better. And again, he's still young. Like a lot of these players we're going to mention, they're still very young, so they have so much room for improvement. And Alejandro Balde is definitely one of them. But yeah, beast, one of the best left backs in the world, clearly starts. All right, now going into the center back positions, we have a couple options for the center back positions. We have the likes of Inigo Martinez, Paco Barci, Ronaldo Araujo, Eric Garcia, Christensen. We're spoiled for options. We're spoiled for options with a lot of top center backs. But what is the pair that Hansi Flick will be going with? I think it's going to pretty much be the pair that he's pretty much trusted all of last season, which is going to be Inigo Martinez and Pau Cubarsí. Pau Cubarsí, what else can we say about this kid? Generational talent at the age of 18, just being a full-on starter for FC Barcelona at the highest pinnacle of football. Impressive. What else can you say but impressive? Since he's made his debut for Barcelona in a random Copa del Rey match and just going in with such confidence, especially on the ball, how incredible he is in the ball. His distribution, we already know how incredible he is. Just having that ability to find your player in between so many players and just having the technique of actually executing it. Like, come on. Top player. But Cubarsí is definitely, again, he's still young, still has room for improvement as well, because he's definitely prone to making some mistakes. He's not perfect. Let's not get it twisted. He's definitely not perfect. But again, just playing at this level at such a young age is just giving us so much promise and aspirations of what his career is going to look like for FC Barcelona. Like, he's such a top player. He's such an intelligent player. Again, on the ball, he's so amazing. Like, the way he just, these line-breaking passes, how he just finds players so easily and gets it to them. He's a Barca-made player. That's like clearly a Barca-made player, the reincarnation of Gerard Piqué. Again, prone to make mistakes. He will improve on that, and I'm sure throughout his career he's just going to improve and get better and just be a top player for us for the next coming years. But Pau Cubarsí, amazing center back for us. And Inigo Martinez, what else can we say about this guy too? Inigo Martinez last season was definitely a revelation, because let's be honest, before last season, we weren't thinking Inigo Martinez would ever start for Barcelona, be a full-on starter over the likes of Christensen or Araujo, who were before considered the top two, or the front two in the center back pairing. But Inigo Martinez, what he did last season, he just killed it. He got his opportunity and absolutely killed it, because also having some fortune that Araujo wasn't available at the time of the beginning of last season, and Christensen wasn't available. So Hansi Flick had to trust Inigo Martinez, and he took his opportunity and just killed it. Like, he understand understood the system so easily for how Hansi Flick wants to play his football with the high line. He understood it to perfection, and again, great ball playing ability, intelligent center back as well. But the most important aspect of this guy is his leadership. His leadership on the pitch, and he doesn't even wear the armband. You know, there's talks that he might get the armband going into next season because a lot of people have been complaining about Marc-André ter Stegen, so they were talking about, oh, we're going to probably just strip the armband from him, which I don't mind at all. But Inigo Martinez is definitely one person that definitely deserves to get that armband if that shit is true. But Inigo Martinez, you know, a leader, you know, a great center back. He's improved a lot, and we'll see how he goes into next season. You know, hopefully playing into that level. Hopefully he'll be like a Rolls Royce, like the likes of Thiago Silva. Like Thiago Silva playing at such a high level for Chelsea, how incredible he was at such a, you know, at older age for sure. I think he was like in his, you know, late 30s. But Inigo Martinez, a beauty. All right, now going into the double pivots, I think this is going to be pretty obvious of who Hansi Flick wants to go with: Frankie de Jong and Pedri Gonzalez. Frankie de Jong, you know, definitely, you know, had a great season last season. He was definitely not someone that started off and for being a full-on starter for Barcelona. He was slowly getting back from an injury and then slowly had to incorporate himself into the team, especially with the likes of Marc Casado, who was playing at a top level. You know, so there were question marks. Hey, maybe Casado's taking your spot, Frankie. You might not get it back. But Frankie's like, give me time. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to get better. And I'm going to get back into the squad. And that's exactly what he did. You know, he started off coming in as an impact sub, which was, you know, he was doing great as an impact sub. I think the one that really, you know, brought it to life for Frankie de Jong getting into this team was against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, where he came in as a sub and just immediately changed the game for us, made it so much better for us. And then after that, again, slowly getting into the squad, and then boom, he took back his position like nothing. But Frankie de Jong, a top player, such confidence in him as well. You know, captain made as well. You know, I think he's the longest serving player that we have currently, with the likes of also, you know, Marc-André ter Stegen. You know, he's been here through the rough times. He's been here through the rough times, so he deserves the armband for sure, 100%. And like later into the season, like the last couple games of the season, especially the last Clásico, the final Clásico where we beat Real Madrid 4-3. Like his passion that he was showing as a captain, wanting to win that game, wanting to win La Liga, you know, just showing up for his teammates as well. Like, that was amazing to see, and just gave me so much, you know, love for Frankie even further. Like, we already love this player. Of course, throughout his career for Barcelona, hasn't been perfect, but last season he really showed that he could play at a top level. He's still Frankie de Jong, the Frankie de Jong that we bought. He's still that guy. So, and Hansi Flick has definitely unlocked some things out of him. But yeah, Frankie de Jong, top player, clearly starts in this team. And Pedri Gonzalez. Come on, bro. All throughout last season, you guys can watch so many videos, how many times I talked about this guy. Pedri Gonzalez, he is probably one of the greatest signings that Barcelona has ever made. Like, clearly one of the greatest signings that we have ever made for such a cheap price, for this generational talent, for this incredible player. Like, incredible business from Barcelona, the smartest move and the best move they made in so long, because this guy, he defines football, guys. He defines football. If you want the definition of football, you search up Pedri Gonzalez, watch a highlights video of him, and you see everything that is football. Because Pedri Gonzalez, he just facilitates the game for you so easily. How press resistant he is. He's just incredible on the ball. His vision is A1 hot sauce. But yeah, this guy, what else can we say about Pedri Gonzalez? Top player. Last season, we finally got to see him play throughout a whole season. That was what we've been fiending for. We've been waiting for a full season for Pedri. And last season, we got it. And clearly, that's why we wanted to see it. Because not only does he show his level, but he shows how important he is for us. Without him, we don't play the same way. I think there's like 2, maybe 3 players in the squad that are irreplaceable, that there's no way they're ever getting taken out of the squad. We can make any type of signings. Let's say we had unlimited funds. There's 3 players, I think, in the squad that no way get moved. And Pedri is definitely one of them. Like, he is the best midfielder in the world. I've said it throughout all of last season. Search on my Twitter, link in the description, and I have it in my captions right there in my bio. Pedri is the best midfielder in the world. I'll say it forever until he retires. But Pedri, top player. Now going into the number 10. The number 10 is definitely a position that a lot of people have been wondering what Hansi Flick will go with into next season, because this is definitely a position that we've been rotating a lot through. Especially, we have a couple players that can play this position, with the likes of Dani Olmo, Fermin Lopez, maybe sprinkle in a little Rafinha in there. You know, we could definitely experiment going to next season, but I do think that he will go with Dani Olmo. Hansi Flick will continue to trust Dani Olmo. Hey, Dani Olmo was a signing that Hansi Flick wanted. We spend that money for a reason, because Hansi Flick wanted to bring him in because, he understood the quality that Dani Olmo has. Unfortunately for him, last season wasn't his greatest season. He didn't have that major impact that we were hoping that he would come in to have, considering the money that we spent and considering he was the only signing we made last season. But I still believe in him, honestly. I wanted Dani Olmo to come for sure. I do think he's a top player. Again, it's just he hasn't been very consistent, and again, his injury crisis so far at Barcelona, he's always getting injured, which is definitely annoying. Like every time he would come back from injury, he just gets injured again. You're just like, what the hell? But yeah, Dani Olmo, I think next season is going to really be a make it or break it for him next season, because he has to show it. He has to show why we spend that kind of money for him and why he should be the starting 10 for Barcelona, considering he has the experience and considering he's a beast in the midfield. He's a beast as a number 10. He's shown it throughout his career so far at Leipzig, even for the national team. He's a top player, but now he has to show it for Barcelona. He has to show it for us next season. Be just irreplaceable, because I do think that he is the best 10 that we have. I rate Fermin highly. I rate other players that we rate highly that could potentially play as a number 10, but I think Dani Olmo is the best option to play there. But he's going to have to demonstrate it next season. I think next season will be a big season for him, and I do believe that he will break it out next season. He'll break through and just show everyone, hey, this is why you guys spend the money. I'm a culé. I love the team, and I'm going to definitely show it next season. So, important season for Dani Olmo. We'll see how he does next season, but Dani Olmo has to start. All right, on the left-hand side, we have the likes of Rafinha. Rafinha playing the best season of his career so far for not only Barcelona, but for his whole career in general. Last season, how much of a clutch player, how much of a top player he was, just showing the passion. Always on and off the pitch, just showing the passion of how much he loves Barcelona, how much he loves the team, and how much he wants to win every single trophy. I remember this one interview where they asked him, hey, what should you guys focus on to win? And for Barcelona, you guys want to win this trophy, win that trophy. And Rafinha's like, hey, we're going to fight for all the trophies. We want to win all the trophies. You can't play at Barcelona. You can't be a Barcelona player if you don't want to win all the trophies. And clearly, he shows it all the time with his passion that he puts up on the pitch. A workhorse, always going to run for you. Anything you ask of him, he's going to do. He's a leader as well. Every time he wore the armband last season, he was, just another he was just going for him even further. That armband gave him superpowers for sure. But Rafinha is such an important player for us last season. Scored, I think, over 30 goals in all competitions last season. He was incredible, especially his clutch moments. How many clutch moments he had last season. Again, just prime Rafinha. We have him right now, and hopefully he can continue that going into next season. Hansi Flick has gotten the best out of Rafinha, another player that we consider done, that he needed to be sold. But Hansi Flick is like, hell no, I got him. I'm going to do the best with that we can with him, especially considering 2 seasons ago and two summers ago, we were saying, hey, we need a left winger, get Nico Williams, and Rafinha's like, you guys got me. You guys forgot about me? You guys forgot about me? And look what he did last season. Amazing player, top player for Rafinha, and hopefully he kills it next season as well. All right, going into the striker, I think it's going to be quite obvious who it is. The only striker we really have, the only full-on striker that we have is Robert Lewandowski. Last season, Robert Lewandowski, he definitely shocked us because, again, the same situation with Rafinha, with Inigo Martinez. 2 seasons ago, we were saying he's done. He has to go. There's just no way he stays at Barcelona more. He has to be sold. And look what he did last season. Absolutely killed it for us. Again, just scoring top goals, clutch goals. He's that prolific striker that any team would want. I prayed that he was playing for us right now in his prime years. But unfortunately, we're getting a pretty older Lewandowski. But even so, he's done incredible for us last season. I think next season is going to be probably, I have doubts that he's going to resemble what he did last season. I think it's going to be difficult for him because, again, he's aging for sure. And the level is just getting higher and higher each and every year, especially for a team like Barcelona that want to compete for all the trophies. So I think next season is going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what Hansi Flick does with him. I think he's going to potentially rotate him a little bit more because I don't think Lewandowski should be playing every single game. I think Lewandowski should be playing the more important games, the games where we need a prolific striker for sure. But I think he's someone that would have to be rotated going into next season. But Lewandowski, I think he scored over 40 goals last season. Wow, impressive. Look at his career so far to Barcelona. This guy's been killing it. He's such a top player, and I have no worries as to now. But again, we'll see what Hansi Flick does with him next season. But Lewandowski, what can we say? And the right winger, we already know who it is. Lamine Yamal. Cada puto día te quiero más. Lamine Yamal, the new number 10. The best player in the world, Lamine Yamal. obviously starts. Obviously starts every single day of the week. You know how I said a little bit earlier when I was talking about Pedri, there's only 3 players I think in the squad that have absolutely no doubt in my mind play every single game. They're indisputable starters that they never get sold or never get rid of in this team. Obviously, Lamine Yamal is one of them. Lamine Yamal, what a top player Lamine Yamal is. Incredible player at such a young age as well. He's going to be the future for us. Not only for us, but the future of football as well. One of the most entertaining players in the world as of now. And just how much he resembles the likes of Neymar, how much he kind of resembles the likes of Messi. Just being that top clutch player for us. A player that we've been dependent on all of last season. All of last season. If it wasn't flowing through Lamine Yamal, we had it difficult. If he wasn't available, we definitely had it difficult. But Lamine Yamal, like, what? Come on, bro. I don't want to even go into much detail with Lamine Yamal because generational talent, incredible talent, best player in the world. What else can we say about Lamine Yamal? The new number 10 next season. Hopefully that number 10 doesn't hold too much weight on him, puts pressure on him. But even so, I don't know, that word pressure doesn't exist for Lamine Yamal. It doesn't exist at all. Winning the Euros at 16. Played for Barcelona at the age of 15, 16, 17, 18. Just killing it throughout these last couple of years. At such a young age, with such confidence, with just swagger, with like just going out there saying, I don't care what anyone says. If someone talks shit, I'm going to shut them up. Like, come on, pressure is not in his vocabulary. He doesn't give a fuck about no pressure. Top player, Lamine Yamal, he's going to kill it next season. All right, so this is the team that I think Hansi Flick will go with going into next season, how he's going to start off next season. Now I'm going to show you what I would like to see. And boom, this is what I would like to see. You notice any changes? You noticed any changes? I think you do. I think you definitely do. So the 2 changes that I've obviously made are the likes of Andres Christensen and Marc Bernal. Andres Christensen, listen, I already talked about this guy a lot of times throughout this channel, that he's a top player. He's a top center back. Since he's joined Barcelona, he's been an incredible player for us, and I still rate him highly. Even though he didn't play at all last season. He barely played last season. I still rate him highly. I still think he's going to be a top center back for us. Thankfully, we haven't sold him. There was talks that we might potentially sell Andres Christensen. Thankfully, we didn't sell him because I rate Christensen so highly, and I definitely do have a feeling that he could definitely start for Barcelona. I definitely feel it in my balls that he can start for Barcelona. I have no doubt that he can, and potentially take Inigo Martinez's spot, because I don't particularly think that Inigo Martinez is far from Christensen or just levels above Christensen, because Inigo Martinez, again, let's not get it twisted, he was another player that before last season was talked about. He has to be sold. He's not with us anymore. Like he can't play for us. Like he's not good enough. Also another player that was injury prone when he first joined Barcelona. Like we were talking negative about him. So and then next season, what he did under Hansi Flick, improving massively. Hansi Flick got the best out of him. Why can't we say that Hansi Flick get the best out of Christensen as well? Because I already think Christensen is a great player. Obviously, the main problem with him is always injuries, always getting injured. That's a consistent problem he's had since joining Barcelona. But if we can get him fully available, if Hansi Flick can work his magic with Christensen like he did with Pedri, come on, bro. Come on. I think he's going to be... I can think he could full on be a starter for Barcelona. I have no doubt in my mind that he could be a full starter for us. Like, let's not forget what he did for us in the past. He was definitely an all-and-out starter for Barcelona. Again, just unfortunate for him that he would always get injured. Now, considering the system as well, the system that we play, the last couple games of the season where he was playing, he looked like he understood it. He clearly understood it better than Ronald Araujo, who was playing more games than Andres Christensen last season. So I have no doubt that Andres Christensen could definitely start for this Barcelona team. We'll see how the season goes. If Inigo Martinez drops a level, I think the next guy up is going to be Andres Christensen. You heard that voice crack. Imagine you never heard it. Now going into Marc Bernal. Listen, I'm not here to say that Marc Bernal is going to immediately take Frankie de Jong's spot. Definitely not. He has to fight for the spot as much as any of the other players, like Gavi, like Marc Casado. They all have to fight for that spot. But I think Marc Bernal could definitely be a contender, a top contender to be, one of the double pivots for Barcelona going into the future. Because Marc Bernal, the little that he showed us last season, in the beginning of the season, even that preseason, he was showing a top level at such another guy at such a young age. But just having the stature that he has, showing that resemblance of Sergio Busquets, having that confidence in playing the 6, we just, defensively aware, press resistant as well. Like he was showing those qualities that he could be a top center defensive mid for us. Unfortunately, again, the ACL injury just set him back a little bit, but hopefully he comes back. We never know. That ACL injury maybe could have affected his career. We'll probably never see him play at a high level ever again, or he might come back strong and act like nothing ever happened. But I do rate Marc Bernal. I think he can definitely break through into the squad. Obviously, again, he's going to need more time, but again, in the beginning of last season, Marc Bernal was someone that Hansi Flick started to trust. We had Casado, he was benched before Marc Bernal. Marc Bernal was a starter last season, and he was showing some good levels, but unfortunately, again, with the injury. So we're going to see how he slowly incorporates himself into the team, but I think one thing I could criticize Frankie de Jong is definitely his defensive awareness. Defensively, he isn't the greatest, and with Marc Bernal, we can cover that. Cover that and have more coverage in the midfield with again, his stature, how tall he is. He's huge, guys. So defensively, those tackles, he's gonna win them easily. He's going to be somewhat difficult to get past. His physicality as well. So having that tall defensive mid go in the midfield is something that's could definitely benefit us, especially since we consider a lot of our players aren't the tallest. So Marc Bernal is, I think, someone that could definitely break through into the squad. We'll see what the future holds for him, but hopefully he comes back and he comes back fine and can perform for us. All right, I know some of you are probably asking, where is Marcus Rashford? Here he is. This is another kind of lineup that I've been seeing thrown out there from Barcelona fans, playing Rafinha as a number 10 and playing Marcus Rashford on the left hand side. Listen, of course, Marcus Rashford, his best position is always going to be on the left hand side. We've seen him play as a striker for Manchester United, wasn't the best, so his best position is going to be on the left hand side. So that means replacing the likes of Rafinha, but then fans will want to push Rafinha playing as the number 10. In my opinion, I don't think Rafinha should be playing the number 10. I think Rafinha, his best position is always going to be on the left-hand side because, again, we have other players that can play that position with Fermin Lopez or Dani Olmo, or maybe even sprinkle in a little Lamine Yamal in there. You never know. But I really don't want to see Rafinha playing in the middle, because Rafinha, he's been someone last season, again, his best position's always been, playing in these spaces right here. And he's also, drifted around, going from left to right, playing on the right-hand side sometimes, collecting the ball sometimes through the middle. But in a La Liga match where we're playing a low block, where we're playing a team that just, full-on coverage, is Rafinha really going to be beneficial for us in those tight spaces right here? I don't think so, because Rafinha on the ball, he's great on the ball, but I don't think he's at the level of Dani Olmo or maybe a Lamine Yamal, who can just squeeze through players, dribble past players so easily and eloquently. Because I don't think that's Rafinha's game right there. I think Rafinha's just gonna have to play as a winger, just stay as a winger, and that also means he's going to have to be benched. We can't have it all. We can't have it all on the pitch. So if Rashford were to start being our left winger, then Rafinha will have to be benched, or maybe play up top, playing somewhere else, or maybe playing on the right hand side, which is something I'm going to show in a little bit. But Rashford has to play on the left hand side if he does start for Barcelona. But I think for Rashford is going to be, he has to earn a spot. We can't just give him that spot. He has to earn a spot. What else does he have in front of any of our Barcelona players that we currently are talking about? What merit does he have? Nothing. He doesn't have any merit for Barcelona. And even these last couple of years, he doesn't have much merit at all, because he hasn't been the greatest either. So he's going to have to be a player to earn his spot at Barcelona if he wants to start. He definitely has the ability and capabilities of doing it, especially if Hansi Flick gets the best out of him. If he gets the best out of him, full on, go on, be a starter. But we can't have it all. Maybe Rafinha will have to be benched. We'll see what Hansi Flick will decide to sacrifice. And that's the great thing about having depth, because you're having depth who can, give other, competition to other players and, get the best out of players as well. So that's the great thing about having depth. But it will be interesting to see what Hansi Flick decides to go with. But I don't think Rafinha should play as a number 10. If Marcus Rashford were to start, I think Rafinha would have to be benched, or maybe we can do this. Boom! Lamine Yamal, the new number 10, playing through the middle, and Rafinha going back to his natural position. I know some of you are just looking at this and you're just like, oh yeah. Lamine Yamal, the number 10. He's our number 10. He's the reincarnation of Neymar/Messi. So he can play that number 10. He can play that number 10 role. But Lamine Yamal, we already know on the ball, this guy is incredible. How easily he just gets away from players. We all remember that famous picture where he just, or that incredible game where he just got past like 6-7 players so easily through the middle. Like, we all know Lamine Yamal's capabilities in those tight spaces against any player, against any defender. He just gets away from them so easily. So why can't we say he can do the same thing playing as a number 10, you know, from the beginning of a match to the end of a match? Like, Lamine Yamal has the capabilities. Again, his inspiration is definitely Neymar. He's already admitted so many times his biggest inspiration is Neymar, and Neymar, as much as he started on the left-hand side playing as a winger, he's also transitioned to the middle. And look how much of a top player he was playing through the middle, how easy he would facilitate the game for his teammates, how easy he would control the game and just kill it. Any position you would put him in, he'll kill it. And Lamine Yamal is one of those players. One of those top players that will kill it in any position you put him in. If you want to put him on the left, you want to put him on the right, playing him as a striker, playing him number 10, Lamine Yamal will kill it. Because that's just how much of a generational talent he is and how much of an incredible talent he is. So, you know, maybe this is something we can experiment one day. I don't think we should do it, you know, do it immediately. It was something, it has to be something that he'll have to adapt to later throughout his career. But there's no doubt that he could definitely do this. He could definitely play this position. Again, his best position is definitely on the right hand side. But you know, maybe if we want to have all these players play like Rafinha and Rashford, Lamine Yamal, there's no doubt he has to start. So play him to the middle. Whew. I'm just saying he's going to be levels playing to the middle for sure. But Lamine Yamal, I think he should stick to the right for right now. But in the future, just imagine Lamine Yamal number 10. Chef's kiss. So that was the video for today, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the video. Are you happy with the lineups that I showed you guys? Do you think that other players should be replaced of who I mentioned today? What do you guys think about the lineup that I put up with Christensen and BERNAL? What do you guys think? Am I taking it too far right there? And what do you guys think about maybe Rafinha playing to the middle, Lamine Yamal playing as number 10? Who do you know? We'll see what happens next season. That's the great thing about having depth. We can put in as many players as we like. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, hit the notification bell for every time we upload. Share to your friends who love football. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Whenever that is, much love, take care, and peace.